So now, with all that we have shared, clearly you have excelled both in sports and in terms of your career. I'd like to know, how does one go about balancing the two? How does one make those important choices? Do I go about choosing sports as my profession? Do I choose a more reliable, uh, more realistic career of maybe getting a job? What would you advise for this? Because clearly you have done well in both, and I'd like to know whether this was consistent throughout your life. And I mean, how does it impact your choice, and what advice would you have with regard to this?
It's actually a very tough question, to be honest, the balancing act. Because I mean, for me personally, what happened was that my parents used to force me for sports. I mean, all credit goes to my parents because they used to force me to go out and play different sports and experience whatever was available. But at the same time, they would just tell me that it is important that you study as well, because no matter how great a sportsman you become, your basics would still come from your education, and the kind of personality that you develop also comes from the education point of view. And like often you would see there are great sportsmen who have done really well, but they would not know how to conduct themselves, or speak the right words, or present themselves or make it presentable. And that does make a difference. I mean, I've seen this with a lot of athletes who are extremely good but have lost out on these skills. And for me, it was always like, for my parents, it was very important that that I would keep my education first when two things clashed. Like, there was a time when 2014 Asian Game trials were happening, and I had my college exams. Like, college exam, we could have just bunked. I mean, the college was very supportive, university was very supportive, but my parents were like, see, once you leave that education point, and you go into other things, it's very hard for you to come back and complete it the right way, and you would actually miss out on the journey that is also important. So for you, I mean, for a person's point of view, it is very important that you take the decision where you start thinking what is more important for you at that moment. Don't worry about the future point of view. But at that moment, for me, I thought education was important, because if I'm done with that, because I don't really like writing exams, so I always want to finish it off in one go. It's almost like I don't want to fail because I don't want to write it the second time. It's more like that. It's not because I want to score great or something like that. I had no interest. But what I also used to do is give my 100% even there. So when I'm studying something, I have the exam tomorrow, I would make sure that I try studying as much as possible. That tomorrow I don't regret, oh, I could have just studied, and then I have to write the paper again 6 months later. So I didn't want to struggle 6 months later. That is the whole point. I just wanted to get done with that. Balancing also comes with the kind of people you surround with. For me, education became easier because my friends were nice. They would help me out. They would, give me notes. They would always keep me up to date, and that is very important. The kind of friends and the people are around you. Even for sailing, there were few competitions where I would write exams and go directly to the sailing club, and everything would be ready. All I had to do was just jump into the boat and go and sail. So it's very important that you have right people to support you, and that would only come with you talking to people and building that kind of relations.